Joining me this week is Zowskii, known for his 10,000 boss kill videos, as well as his recent 10,000 hard clues opening.
Oh, baby!
He was heavily involved in the race to 99 Archaeology in his Ironman, and has some pretty in-depth thoughts on the skill. Recently, he's also been playing on his Taskman account, a very restrictive game style that forces the player to experience everything and anything the game has to offer. We chat about how he got into clues, the origin of his account's names, as well as many other topics, both inside RuneScape, but also about how his content creation process goes, reasons for taking breaks, and everything like that. If you want to skip to any topics in particular, check the description because I've got timestamps for all the topics covered in there.
How's it going, everyone? Zowskii.
And join me
Welcome to our
as I head into the mind
10.
of Zowskii.
Ice die, baby!
Hello, Zowskii. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome. Have you ever done an interview or anything like this before?
I actually haven't, no, and I'm honoured to be asked. Finally.
No. I'm honoured you came. Let's not take that out of context.
That's fine, leave it, it's good.
Alright.
That's how I am. Oh no.
So how did you start playing RuneScape? Let's move on quickly from that and get on to the questions.
I think I started as like most people did, like friends at school. I recently moved schools and to try and make friends. I went to like the nerdiest people I could see. That's like the easiest way to make friends. And they started telling me about this game called RuneScape. But in my idiocy, I thought they said Runescape at first.
Ah, okay.
So like the next day at school, I was like, I couldn't find this game, RuneScape. They're like, no, you idiot, it's RuneScape. So I was like, oh shit, okay. And so then I've been playing pretty much non-stop since, well, it was 2005. That's when I started playing. And I recently got my 15-year cape on my main account, which is kind of sad and depressing when I think about it. I spent so long playing this one game.
But it's also nice how it's kind of followed you through life, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah. When you put it like that, yeah.
And you just think of the journey you've sort of had over that time as well. And all the fun in-game.
Fun? yeah, there's definitely been some ups and downs. Like, obviously, I started playing in 2005 and I stopped for a bit because I actually got stuck in a quest instance. Before there was home teleports, so it's like early 2005. I got stuck in the Ernest the Chicken maze. I could not get out. There was no home teleport, so I couldn't teleport out. I was just stuck, so I was like, fuck it, I'm quitting. So I quit for like 2 years. And then they finally added the home teleport button. I was able to escape my prison, like Ernest was. So
That's so unique.
That was big fun. So, yeah, I've not told many people that. When I told my friend group that the other week, and they laughed at me.
I kind of don't blame them.
Yeah,
but you lived with chickens for a couple of years.
I honestly had no idea how it happened. It's not like it now. You can obviously home teleport. I think it's just a random bug that happens every so often with games, especially games like RuneScape. But yeah, that was my first experience with RuneScape. Getting stuck in a quest.
So what would you say some of the highlights over the years for you have been?
Highlights. The biggest one is when I finally got trim comp on my main account before the cast wars removal. So, bit of pride there. I think I was 2,100. I remember the number off by heart. I was like in the top 2,200 people to trim, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And then they ruined it. But that's a whole different topic of how they've devalued stuff in this game, which we could talk about actually later on.
So did you get the cape upon trimming? Was that kind of what you thought? As in the cape to your left. It's slightly out of camera shot, but I can probably move it quickly.
Yes.
That one there, yeah.
it's modelled after my actual trim comp that I have in game. So obviously that's how Wizard Anthony, little plug there. How he does it, he asks you whether you want your in-game one, asks you to send a picture of it, and it is one of the main reasons I got it. And just weird flex, I guess. kind of sad, but it's a bit personal to me, and I don't regret buying it. So,
and then you've got. Oh, sorry.
I've also got a little pie hat as well. Red pie hat. Standard red pie hat. Which, again, cheap, like £6. Worth buying. Just for laughs.
So, and the capers, I assume, gone out at Runefest and any other places, or is it no?
I wouldn't be caught dead wearing outside of Runefest.
All right.
I've had a few beers, maybe I might whip it out, but I'd have to have it on me at the time. So again, probably like Runefest related stuff.
So how many Runefests have you made it to?
I went to 2017 and 2018. I would have gone 2019, but none of my friends in the game were able to go. So I was like, you know what, it's not worth me going. And I'm kind of glad it didn't seem very fun from watching the live streams, to be fair. So I'm kind of glad I missed it.
The live streams were a little bit cringe. Unfortunately, what's her face? I can't remember. She's from Radio 1, or like Radio 1's gaming section originally, but she didn't get the tone of it at all, did she?
She was stuck out like a fourth sort of totally did not belong there. It was cringy even for RuneScape standards. She somehow managed to elevate it to extra cringe, which is kind of impressive.
What is going on? Right, let me fix my chair.
Curse of me.
So anyway, let's move on. Which skill was the first 99 you ever got in game?
First 99 I ever got was fire making. As I don't know why. I think I got it first because it was the fastest one I could think of and relatively cheap. And I did it on free to play. Even though I was a member, I did it on free to play worlds. I was trying to flex out as a member, but I was so poor. I was there with black D-hide and a dark bow, just making maple longbow fire lines for a week solid. It was not fun. I'm glad they've changed fire making to bonfires, but people won't know the struggle of line fire making.
So I came back just over a year ago, and I was like, "Oh, I'll do some fire making training." And what did I do? I started making lines, like the old school days. I was like, "Oh, that's just today. You make rows." And then someone walked past and was like, "You know, you can just click on it." And I was like, "Oh." And I'd spent so long like trying to work out the perfect sort of pattern to do to end up back at the bank. And it was
the classic was a Varrock fountain, or G, the two classic ones.
Just such big open areas,
big long lines. And then on the Ironman, my first one was Untrim Slayer, so I thought I may as well get a decent one on the Ironman, which I still have keepsaked, even though I got the max cape now. I have it still keepsaked, just as a permanent untrim, because it looks really good, like the pure black cape.
I feel like it's the way to go with your first 99. You gotta keepsake it.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's a crappy one. But...
I mean, mine was farming.
Farming's a good one. Farming untrim cape looks pretty good, actually. There's some that don't look pretty good, but farming's another good one. That's the old fat nooblet route, that is, untrim farming.
And then, what was your last 99?
On the main, before Archaeology.
Yeah, like when you were maxing.
Yeah, it was runecrafting on the main account, because runecrafting is just terrible. Even with RuneSpan, it was still pretty slow and terrible. Better than doing the old school way of actually making runes, which I would never do.
I was going to say, I am currently semi-AFK in the RuneSpan right now, siphoning some soulless wraiths.
Oh yeah.
Make the most of that double XP.
That's true. Good old double XP weekends. So much stuff. Yeah, and then on the Ironman, I didn't technically have the last one. I sort of leveled loads of them at the same time as like the chat spam.
Yeah.
I managed to cock it up, and I missed, and no, actually ended up being agility is my last one. So I freaked out a little bit while I was actually doing it and used the wrong lamp on the wrong skill, so I didn't have enough lamps to do it all. So I had to do another 20 minutes of agility to actually get my last 99.
No.
So yeah, the main was agility. Iron was agility then, which again is actually a really nice cape, blue and red.
So how long did it take you on the Ironman to max from like creating the account, roughly?
I think it was just over 2 years. I think. Yeah, I think it's about over 2 years, which honestly is really slow. Even for an Ironman, that's really slow to max. So I was doing quite a lot of PVM at the same time.
Is that like your favourite stuff to do in game? Is it PVM or is it the clues? Or because obviously a lot of people know you for clues.
Clues are good. I do like some PVM. I'm not a big fan of a lot of it, but actually no, I do like a lot of PVM. It's just the harder bosses I don't really know that well. Like I suck at Talos, and I've not done Solak really. I paid for my leech for Solak. That was to keep my trim. I was like, I'm not doing this boss. I'll pay the 500 mil or whatever it was for the leech to get the one kill. I just want to get it over and done with. And then again, they removed that from comp, so it doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, PVM's good. My favorite boss is probably like AOD and Nex. They're two really good fun bosses to do.
Yeah. I mean, Nex especially is quite a nice short fight, and all the different sort of mechanics condensed so quickly. I quite like.
Oh, but it was just a proud moment to get my first Nex solo done as well. My first one took 10 minutes to do. 10 minutes for my first Nex solo because I kept messing up blood phase, which was
yeah. I still use Revolution. At the time when I first went in to try to do Nex, I corrupting shot number 1.
Oh god.
And then number 5, is it fragmentation shot or no, the other one, disintegration. The orange one. I know the icons, I don't know the names.
I saw that the icons, like bombardment.
No,
fragmentation shot.
that sounds more like it.
Yeah, another bleed.
Yeah, not good. So they quickly were replaced. It's still so stressful though.
Oh, it's just good fun though. When you finally get it down, it's so fun. It's such a well-designed boss. Same like Virago. So I'm a big fan of Virago. Chris Al has done a cracking job with the bosses for this game, and they've stood the test of time because people still do them. They're still worth a lot of money.
Yeah,
and it does have the Jagex makes you use the item drops in future content or new content, which is always good for the longevity of bosses.
Well, obviously the price of Torva over the past few months has been pretty crazy. The plate bodies were like 100 mil plus for a few weeks.
Oh god, yeah. It sort of spiked up, I think, with the spear as well. I think it sort of went up a little bit more. I still need to get not the level yet though. Forehead. One day.
So, have you got a favourite quest? Are you into your quests that much, or?
I like doing quests once. I don't like having to repeat quests over multiple accounts.
Okay.
So the first time I do quests, I love them; they're great. But when you make like 3-4 accounts, you have to do the same quest over and over again. It gets quite tiring. Unless, of course, it's a really good quest. But my favourite has to be Ritual of the Majorette, which I'm sure a lot of people's favourite quest is as well. There's just something about it which is just so well. Like the story's good, the fights are good. The rewards are pretty good as well.
I mean, maybe apart from the little bit where you have to go on mostly harmless and dodge the fire attacks while walking across the island.
I did struggle with that on my iMap for some reason. It took me like half an hour to do that one part of the quest. I honestly don't know why. I just kept screwing up.
It kind of felt like RNG because I was following the quest guide just because I was screwing up so much. I was like, right, I'm going to go everywhere that it says. And I was still failing half the time. I was like, okay.
It's like, you're like one tile out from the bush and just kills you. It's like, oh, okay, thanks. Let me just retry this whole thing again. Apart from that, it's a good quest. Like the agility bit is really fun. I kind of wish they made that into an actual agility course, but oh well, they didn't. So I just love like the animations and stuff with the acrobatics you do. It's pretty good.
So, and then would you say you've got a favourite NPC, be it one involved in quests or just littered around the game world?
I wouldn't say I had a favorite NPC on its own, but I like the Majorat race. Again, very unique and well written characters in the game. I'm glad they're doing more with them. Even with Archaeology, there's loads of Majorati stuff, which is, that's all you could call Majorati? Majorite?
Majoritian?
Majoresians? I don't know. But yeah, the Majorite, I'd like.
Yeah, I think they're pretty popular sort of characters because you're not quite sure about them.
No, there's definitely the secrecy side, and they will have their own personalities, especially like Zowskii and Lucian, Azanadra, the other ones, but they're weird names.
So you're still training archaeology, You were chatting before we started. What are your thoughts on it, and what it's done, I guess, in regards to the overall game, I guess?
I really like archaeology. It is a well designed skill, a well balanced skill. There are a few things I think they did a bit wrong. I've got to think of those reasons now because I forgot.
I know one is that some parts need to be quest locked. Really.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's more from like the Ironman perspective of it that has like clouded my view of it a bit. So at the minute, the artifact mitigation either doesn't work for me or I don't understand how it works. So at the minute in my bank, I have like 10 more artifacts of one than the other, which is getting rather frustrating, even after the fix and even with the fixation thing.
Yeah, so as far as I know, it works on any spot. So even if you go between different places, if you pick up an artifact from that second spot, that actually counts as one of the last 5 artifacts you got. So if you're at one area collecting them, and then you go somewhere else, collect 3 of something, and you go back to that original spot, you haven't got 5 of that spot already banked up. If that makes sense. That was not a very clear way of describing it.
Yeah, because I've read what one of the J-mods said. They said if you want to go for the one specific artifact, you're better off staying at that one spot, which I didn't understand because I've done what people have said and get 5 and go to somewhere else, get 5 and come back. That's just the complete opposite, where it actually gave me more of the artifact that I didn't want.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's not the way to do it, because then it changes like the bad luck mitigation, but I'm confused by it as well.
Thank you, Twister Reply, whoever that was.
I don't know. As far as I know, that would not be the way to do it.
Oh, yeah. Again, I love the design of all the dig sites. They all look incredible, especially like the Infernal Source one. That looks amazing.
Yeah, would you say that's your favourite in terms of design?
In terms of design, yes. But in terms of actual content, no, it's one of the worst ones. Same as like the Stormguard Citadel. It's amazing to fly around for that, but the actual things you make there are terrible. And it's one of the reasons why I actually lost the 99 race. Because big brain.
So how was the Ironman 99 race? I didn't get much of a chance to pay much attention to it, but how was it going? Because I know you were obviously very close.
I never intended to race at all. So when I was training, I had both my accounts training at the same time. And after like the first day, I saw that I was in like the top 5. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I can try and get like first to 99. So I got to level 64 on both my accounts and decided, I was going to focus on the iron and level that up. And I spent an ungodly amount of time awake. It was people actually telling me in my clan chat to go to bed. Because I think the first day I was up 46 hours since on release. Then I went to bed for 2 hours, and then stayed up again for another 46 hours. And then
mental.
And I did get 5 hours sleep that day. But it was not fun.
No. And not particularly healthy either. No.
It's not healthy. It was more like, what else am I going to do in lockdown? I'm just going to stay up and play RuneScape all day. Obviously, if the lockdown wasn't happening, that would never have happened. I would just train it like a normal person. Normal 16, 18 hour day, as the normal RuneScaper does. Yeah. Yeah, the skill you assume with the leveling system that the higher level you are, the better XP rates you get. That really was not the case, as I found out as soon as I hit level 93. No, whichever the Storm God one is after 93. Let's quickly check. 95. So I stayed at the 93 spot at the Caradette site. And as soon as I hit level 95, I went to rush Ancient Invention, which is super overpowered.
Yep.
We'll get into that. And the XP rates there are way worse than the level 93 site. And I stayed at the 95 site until like level 97, whenever the next spot was. Yeah, 97. And even then, the XP rates there aren't particularly great compared to the level 93 spot.
Is that partially down to just the materials that you get there for making the relics, as well as the batteries, I guess?
Yeah, it's the batteries, which are so overpowered for early level stuff. Like the minute I got 7,400 just chilling in my inventory at the minute. I'm waiting to get 10k to get that 5.2 mil XP drop. So I can't do any presets, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I realized too late that I was in the wrong spots for the race. That's why I ended up falling behind AJ, which is kind of sad.
So how long after was it that you ended up getting 99?
When he got 90, there's like this video which is like the race to 99, and I was a lot closer than the video actually shows. Obviously, when he got 99, I hadn't lobbied for like 1 million XP, so I was actually only like 1 million XP behind him, which is still a lot. But as soon as he got 99, I decided I went to bed and I slept for like 20 hours, and I logged back in, went back to level 93 site and got 99, and I was still ahead. Somehow, after sleeping for 20 hours, I was still ahead of rank 3. I honestly don't know how. But at that point, I sort of just gave up. It's like, there's no point. So I was just going to go to bed. And I did.
You realised after 20 hours sleep how much you'd actually missed sleeping.
Oh, God, yeah. It was great. Yeah, I practically, as soon as my head hit the pillow, that was it. I was just gone. Gone. Don't do it, kids. It's not healthy. It's really not healthy. I was still eating and stuff like that. It's just constantly hearing the ding of my old one for the sprite moving.
So you didn't change it to some custom sound?
No, I just left it as the ding. It's got
the piercing noise.
Yeah, the piercing ding. The reception bow, God. Yeah. What I was doing, I was actually like cooking and stuff while playing RuneScape, which is weird. So every 2 minutes, or like every minute I have to run from my kitchen to here while still trying to race people to 99.
Particularly complex meals, or
beans
on toast?
I made it chili.
Okay. Nice.
So I pushed everything back on my desk, was chopping stuff on my desk while training Archaeology, and then had to quickly, every minute when the ding went off, or like every 10 seconds, sometimes it is, just constantly running back and forth. And when you've been up for like 40 hours, it's quite tiring. I honestly don't know how I did it. I think it's just like the adrenaline of being in the top 3 for most of the race.
Yeah, seeing your name on that page.
Even if it doesn't look like it in that video, I was always in the top 3. Apart from the one day where I logged off at rank 2 and I came back, I was rank 9. And by the end of the day, I was rank 2 again. So
yeah.
But it's a good skill. They've done a good job.
So then moving on to the things that they've added, obviously Archaeology's benefits, I guess, to the rest of the game. So you got the relics.
Relics, yes. There's some good ones, and there's some ones that I honestly have no idea if they're good or not. I'm just stuck with the luck one, the health one, and my herbs never die, which is good. I'll probably change PVM ones when I get there.
I think again. For me, the adrenaline stalling one would help a lot, because I am trash at that.
Get the adrenaline in. Kill some Calgarian demons, get the adrenaline in, easy.
I don't actually know if I have the Slayer level for them. Because they're pretty high.
Like 90?
Oh, are they? I thought they were like 100 and something.
No. They're quite low.
Oh, yeah, easy peasy then.
Might be higher than 90, actually. It's definitely not that high. It's in the 90s, I guess. We're not 100 plus.
Oh, okay. Well, no issues. I have to go there at some point. I'm 105, so it's
Oh yeah, then yeah.
yeah.
I think it's quite a rare drop though, so a lot of people don't actually have it. Unless you did the Halloween event when it was out. Which I don't remember when that was.
Well, surprisingly not, as I've only been back for just over a year. So
I think it's 28, maybe 2018.
yeah, no, I started like February 2019.
Yeah.
So
It
yeah,
was probably 2018 Halloween event, I think then.
yeah. So then you've got obviously the whole point of the Infernal Source, the ancient summoning,
Ancient summoning.
the big
God.
boys.
I personally think that should be locked behind the archaeology skill. You shouldn't be able to just buy it at any level as a main. I honestly think it should be locked behind the achievement. Same with Invention as well, to be fair, but that's a bit different.
Maybe you should be able to buy it, but you shouldn't be able to summon them until you've done it.
But then you may as well just not be able to buy it if you can't use it.
Well, people will merch them, like.
That's true. That's very true.
And buy them and then have them sort of ready to go is what I mean, I guess.
That's true. But again, I'm sort of locked in this Iron Man mindset of everyone should have to struggle for it like me.
But if it's something people don't want to do, they don't want to get the ingredients for the pouches and all that stuff. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. But lazy bastards. No, I understand that. I've been a main. I've been there. Not been wanting to gather stuff myself. It was a weird transition going from a main to an iron, I will admit. Good fun though. I wouldn't go back and change it. If anything, I'd go back and start Iron Man earlier than I did.
So when did you transition between the two modes?
There's sort of like a blending. So I was playing the Iron Man while I was trimming the main account because Cast Wars is a very long and AFKable requirement. I think I did like 800 games of AFK, which is a lot of time. So that was a lot of time to play my Iron Man. I know that at the time, actually, for the start of it anyway, I was playing old school. I was doing an old school Iron Man, which was honestly kind of fun. But then I sort of, I got bored of old school, so I went and started an RS3 Iron Man. So even then, I was doing rune crafting in the Abyss. Not the Abyss. Runespan.
So have you ever gone back and done a regular account on old school as well? Like when it first launched, did you go back and experience it, or?
When it first launched, I think I played for like a week, and then nostalgia wore off, and I went back to RS3. And then probably like a year or two later, I went back and made the Iron Man, or whatever they made Iron Man mode. I sort of gave that a go. Got some fairly high skills, got like 83 Hunter on it for Dragon Imps. The old school way of getting glories, which is really good for early game. And then I just got bored of it again and just went back to RS3 and did some PVM goals and killed a lot of bosses in a row for some videos. Yeah, that's also not fun. Doing 10,000 of the same boss in a row, not fun.
And which boss was the 10,000 one?
I've done the 10,000 Graardor, which is actually 11,000. So I did 1,000 video, sold all the loot, and as you know, I was doing 10,000. So I think Archaeology, Invention recently dropped, so I used it as a way to train. So I killed 10,000 Graardor, which was rather boring, but it was very easy Invention XP.
And at least it's not too long of a fight. I guess.
No, 10 seconds a kill.
Yeah.
If that.
It's not Giant Mole or something like that, where it's kind of, unless you do the very quick strats, it's kind of forced to be a minute at least.
Yeah, not a fan of Giant Mole.
No, I recently did 100 KC because I'm doing like final boss sort of videos and going through each boss with 100 KC, even if I've got prior kill count, and that kind of was enough.
Don't think I even have 100 Giant Mole kill count on either of my accounts. Actually, no, I have some on this. I have some on my Iron Man, but I have like hardly any on the main.
It's
same like Cowboy Queen. Cowboy Queen, I have 0 KC on my Iron Man for Cowboy Queen. There's just not a boss I want to do.
I think I have 2 from when I got it as a Slayer task. I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, look, let's go do it. And then, of course, when I first turned up, I only had 1 combat style because I hadn't looked at it before. I was like, oh, all right, I guess I'm going away for a while and finding something else.
I do like those unique where you need 2 styles, but it's just such a stupid boss. The drops are trash.
Yeah.
It's just not a good boss. They need to rebalance it again, I think. Even the Exiled one's pretty trash.
Yeah.
I also did 10,000 Kriara as well. That was a bit longer. Made more money from that one, but still not a lot.
It would have been even more if you were doing it in the last month or so, with the
Oh,
price of Armador components with Ancient Invention.
Oh god, yeah. I think they were still like 2-3 mil each when I did it. I had so many pieces, I sort of crashed the price. Same with Bandos. I crashed the price like under a mil for like a Bandos chestplate and tassets. I had so many. So I just dumped them. I didn't want to slow, so I just dumped them all. Which obviously lost me a lot of money, but it was funny knowing that I crashed the market for a little bit.
Yep. Showing one player's influence over everything.
Oh Christ, yeah. I dropped like 30 sets of each, like Bandos and Kree. It was fun.
So thoughts on Ancient Invention? You've already said it's a bit strong.
It is. I've not done much of it. Pretty much all I've done is get Fortune 3 and Home 6 and Scav 4. Scav 4 is so broken, it's great.
Yep.
I kind of wish I had the Scav 4 when I was doing my Hellhound grind for clues. I would have had so many more rare components with the Scav 4.
Yeah, I went back and I got a subjugation robe and another Bandos chestplate and was just like, right, scavenging 4, and I managed to get looting as well. I got lucky.
Yeah, I think
same
it's
gizmo.
At like level 137. So with 120 of an extreme part, it's like 1 in 18.8 for a Scav 4 looting. So it's insanely common to get compared to Scav 3. I remember spending ages trying to get Scav 3 on my Ironman, and it was because it's super rare to get. Then they made Scav 4 like basically like 100% to get. So I was like, oh okay. I thought they'd at least make it rare because precious components really aren't that hard to get.
No.
They could have made it a lot rarer to get, but oh well, it's easy. But I think a lot of the perks confusing me of how to get them because I've not really seen a definitive list of how to get the top perks, and some of them seem really good to get.
Yeah, but I think some of them again are very, very rare. Like I've gone for the basic sort of P6, E4, 2 gizmos, nice and cheap. Does the job.
I would do that, but I still want to get the. If I had, I'll probably just change my magic gear for the start and focus like fully maxing out my magic gear because I'm still doing AOD on the Ironman, and having best slot perks there is going to be knock the kill times down so much. Even though AOD is pretty fast already, especially like the Ripper demons and stuff, which I still need to try out. So obviously I'm constantly doing archaeology basically. I only use the War Fiends.
It is funny, like power creep, because I went back recently because last week I was interviewing Circle Turk and I checked out the Gold Warden spreadsheet, and it has all the sort of kills and all the videos of it. And I looked at the first one; it's like 10-minute 15 or something like that. And now a 4K Telos kill is less than half the time.
Oh yeah, the first one was super. I remember watching that live when I think it was Saturn.
Yeah.
So, got the first Golden War. That was so intense with the double Pantheon.
Yep.
Sign of Lives. Oh my god.
Like,
and now there's people like Evil Akari doing it, no food, no armor, please, blindfolded. It's crazy.
Blindfolded.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he could do it blindfolded. He should give it a go. He's at least like Warden or something, like a blindfolded Telos kill. That'd be impressive to see. I think I need to explore the Invention a bit more, I think. But once I get 120 Invention, 120 Archaeology, I'll probably give it a full go.
So
give it a proper shake.
If we move on to clues, how did you get into clues? What was what hooked you on them, I guess?
I'd always liked doing clues. Even like pre-OC, I'd do like hundreds of clues, 100 hard clues anyway. Even when the loot was super, super terrible. People probably don't remember, you used to get like rune nails, construction flat packs, stuff like that in clue scrolls. But thankfully they updated them and got rid of them because they were absolutely trash. But then I sort of died down a bit because they were getting really tedious to do because I hadn't heard of R1. It might not have been a thing then, to be fair. But I sort of stopped doing them. And then the clue rework happened, which sort of revitalized everything with like the stackable clues, stackable caskets, which was a big game changer. So before, if you want to do multiple clues, you had to like drop a hard clue and juggle them, which that was good fun juggling clues. I kind of miss that you can't do that anymore. Like trying to juggle 3 or 4 clues at the same time, which is actually good fun. But I watched someone stacked 1,000 hard clues, and it was Saul. He was like one of the first people to stack up big stacks of clues.
Yeah.
I think he's still in like the top 5 for hard clues in the minute. He was one of the first people actually got me into doing it and trying to stack large numbers. So I was watching, like, how the hell do you have the willpower to stack up 1,000? At the time I could barely stack like 10 because I just wanted to open them, because obviously mindset of before the clues are stacking, they just open it on the go. And then
as soon as you get it, you want to see what you've learned. Yeah,
exactly. And then I don't know how I stumbled upon a Triple Dylan video where he was stacking like hundreds of elites at a time and watching his, and Grim Dutch as well. I think it's Grim Dutch first and Triple Dylan after. And Grim Dutch was another person who stacked up like loads of clues, kept getting dies. I was like, you know what, I actually really want a die and some broadcasts. So I was going to stack clues. So I stacked my first 1,000, which didn't take as long as I thought it would, and it was actually really hard. Stack that. Once I got 100, I was like, I really want to open these 100. So now I got to get to 1,000. And I got to 500. So when you get to the bigger numbers, it gets easier to not do them. And
you're that much closer to the goal, I guess.
It's just like it gets to the point where it's like, the itch is gone. I was away at this point. But then when they made the clue carrier, that made it so much easier, because you never actually have to physically see them at all, because they're in a bag you have to hover over to actually look into. And then, I did my first 1,000. Got pretty lucky. Got a shadow die and a barrows die, which is good, I guess.
2 out of, anyway. 1 in 500, yeah.
I think it's a bit rarer than that, but the averages make it go down a bit, I think. But then stacked another 1,000, and then I stacked 1,000 elites, which was absolutely horrible. Elites are definitely the worst tier of clue. It's just how much of a pain they are to get, and how long they actually take to complete. I do a lot of clues where I suck at doing elites. They still take like 3 to 5 minutes to do one. There's people like Aura and Triple Dylan do them like two minutes, probably less than that. But then stacking 1,000 elites was horrible. And even in the opening, I got an ice die and a barrows die in the first 200 clues.
Yeah.
And I went 731 dry, which was super demotivating. So I spent all this time and only got 2 dies, and I had a massive dry streak right at the end. So okay, so I basically wasted my time. In my opinion, I wasted my time because I got less money from 1,000 elites than I did from 1,000 hards, which takes a quarter of the time to gather.
Yeah.
You can't be discouraged though. RNG's RNG.
Indeed.
There's people that get super lucky, and there's people that go super dry.
Have you had your lucky streak yet, would you say?
I think I already had it, because in 2,500 hards, I had 3 shadow dies and 3 barrows dies. Yeah, 3 shadow, 3 barrows, and 2,500, which is way under the drop rate.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, I stacked my 10,000 hards, which was took 6 months to stack. 6 months to stack. Obviously, I was most of it was before the lockdown.
Yeah.
So obviously, I had to work full time, so I couldn't really do that many a day. I think I did average 50, 60 a day, that's more than a lot of people would actually do in a day.
That's like 200 days, isn't it? If you work out 50 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my mindset, I was like, I want to do it. I'm going to do 100 a day. That's only 3 months, but obviously that didn't pan out. Towards the end it did, obviously, with the lockdown. I sort of was averaging about 100 a day, which is still nowhere near what Duty can do. Fucking absolute beast, Duty. Insane.
And then how long did it take to open all 10,000? It must have been a few hours, surely.
So it was together 7.5 hours to open. Which is pretty quick. I watched some clue openings and they take so long to open, like 100. I'm like, it does not take this long to open this many clues. But that's just obviously some people look at every single clue. clicking through. If there's not a broadcast, I'll just keep going, basically.
Yeah, I guess people that aren't used to clues, or it's like their first time stacking stuff up, and you can kind of excuse them for taking a bit longer and try to learn stuff about them.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of impatient though.
Just watch the video on 2x speed or whatever.
That's basically, I'll just skip through. If they're on the same task for a bit, I'm like, okay, there's definitely something here. I'm sorry, Dylan, that's one of your videos now, I'm sorry. If he watches this, I'm sorry, Dylan. I skip through to the end and see if you get anything, then go back into the video and find it. Yeah. I honestly don't know how I'm actually 10,000. I think the drive to get rank 1 in something, and that was something very easy to get, because obviously rank 1 at the time was inactive with clues, Kara Kitty. Although, when I started, she only had 10,000. I got like halfway through and saw that she did 25, so I thought she'd start doing them again. Because I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to get rank 1 by the time I finish. But luckily, she hadn't actually done any more. She has actually started since. She's done like 500 since I stopped. So I may have to keep an eye on that to keep my rank 1.
Yeah, she wants it back.
Yes, definitely.
So
She had it for a long time.
So what do you think your next goal will be for clues? Have you got one? Anything you're stacking up currently, or you're giving it a bit of a break?
At the minute, I finished after my opening of my hards. I got like 870 odd masters, which I've done. So I've got like 1,200 masters stacked up, and then I also had all the clue points for actually doing all the hards. So I have 828 elites to do, which I'm putting off. I really don't want to do them because it's going to take so long. Because I want to stack another 1,000 elites.
Yeah.
Hopefully get some more guys. And then hopefully get about 250 masters. So then I'll have 1,500 masters to open, which would be pretty good.
You're still missing a third age die, right?
I need a blood and a third age die.
Yeah.
I've actually had 2 blood dies before, but I got them on the beta servers, which was upsetting. When the bank, before the bank rework, there was betas for the bank rework.
And the weapon diversity as well.
Yeah. And then every hour you could just log on, reload your save, and open caskets. And I did that. I've done that a few times, and I never really got anything good. But the one time I did, I got 2 blood dies and 150 elites, which was very upsetting.
Yes.
Like 1 in 10k, and I don't have them on the live game. And I also had a druidic cloak as well on the betas. That was at a different time. So
kind of felt like you might have used some of your iron RNG up there.
Oh yeah, definitely, because that was before I did my 1,000 elite opening.
Yeah.
I've blown it. 2 blood dice this close together. I've actually blown it. So I've sort of vowed to never open on the beta servers again, even though it's kind of fun. Until you get the big stuff like that. Luckily, I never got like an Osh or anything like that. If I got an Osh, I would have just cried, I think. Again, that's a super rare drop, which I'd love to get, especially on the Ironman. It'd be a big flex. But I don't get broadcasts with my Ironman symbol, which is kind of annoying.
So is there anything you think about clues that could be improved?
If anything, I'd just like them to change elite clues a little bit. Even if they're just lowered. That's just because I'm terrible at them. I don't know. This is a very personal thing. It's like I want them to either make them shorter, even just like a step would change how long they take by a lot. It's like the clue term helps a lot, but it's still way too long to do. And I don't think it should be a puzzle every step. Because that makes them take so much longer as well. Or have it just be in the knots instead of the slidey puzzles.
Yeah.
God damn, I hate slidey puzzles.
I assume you use Alt-1 for stuff now.
I use Alt-1 for the slidey puzzles. I could do them fast. So obviously doing 10,000 hards, that's about still 6,000 slidey puzzles. Probably a bit more than that, actually.
And what speed do you set the tracker thing to?
I could sort of switch between using my mouse and my keyboard. So when I was using my mouse, I was on 0.22 for a bit. And on my keyboard, I was doing 0.22. I slowly got myself down to 1.9, whatever it is, 0.19. Again, using mouse and keyboard, so it's really fast. And obviously, when I stream it, my old one doesn't show up, so people just think I'm like a big brain for the clues. So I always deny that I'm using it because they can't see it. There are people that can do it really fast. Like Mastodon, I think it's Mastodon. You can do it like super fast without R1, which just blows my mind how we can do it without the help.
I guess it's something like a Rubik's Cube, isn't it? It's an algorithm that once you got it in your head and you just recognize it, you can go.
Definitely. He's insane. He judges everyone that uses Alt1. Which is understandable to use it.
I mean, what are your thoughts on Alt1? Like,
I love Alt1. Alt1 gets a lot of crap, but I love Alt1. It's great.
It's such a nice toolkit for everyone to have.
It just cuts out the middleman of people using the wiki to look up the coordinates and stuff like that. Which is why there's like a JMod that said you shouldn't be allowed to use. I think it was ModMaz for old school anyway. That you shouldn't be able to use clue help and stuff because that goes against the point of it. It's like, well, it's just cut out the middleman. If you can't use Alt1 or RuneLite, they'll just use the wiki, and all the answers are on the wiki. So it's just cutting out. It's just saving time by not having to look it up. Or you have like a notepad, which what people used to have. I think I used to have some coordinates on a notepad for Alt1.
Just a little logbook to go through.
Yeah, it's just saves time, and time's money.
Yeah,
so.
Quite literally, if you get lucky, anyway.
Exactly, got a soccer mum it.
So, how many accounts have you got, like, that you actively play on at the moment?
Active player, I'd say like 3 active. So I got my main account, which is Zowskii, and I got my Ironman, which is Zowskii. Funny story why it's called Zowskii as well. And I got Taskski, which is my Taskman account. So I have 3 active accounts. I'm actively paying membership for. Is 3. Obviously, I've had loads of accounts back in the day from messing around on free to play PKing and a few botting accounts.
Long in the past. Long in the past.
That one, my one bot account recently got unbanned as well, which is kind of funny.
It is so random how like accounts from years ago get unbanned. It was just suddenly they go through. It's like it's been long enough. Your punishment has been served.
It was only a crappy free to play bot. I think I got like 50 in most free to play stats, and they got banned. But okay, I didn't really care anyway. I don't know why I was doing it. I think I was just bored. So I thought, I'll see how far I can get on a bot account.
I realised I managed to skip a question that's normally at the start. Where did the username come from? Is there an origin behind Zowskii?
Okay, Zowskii. I kind of don't want to dox myself, but my last name is kind of similar to Zowskii, and that it's like a Polish kind of nickname. And in high school, some girls gave me the name Zowskii because of Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. It was similar to what my actual last name is. So they started calling me Zowskii, and I've had that for like 15 years. Yeah, probably like 15 years now. I've had Zowskii as my username for everything. I shouldn't say that, actually. Probably just you can Google Zowskii and find pretty much every single one of my profiles, like all my social medias and stuff like that. So that's how I got Zowskii. And then my Ironman, I wanted it to be called Glacior, but someone already took the name Glacior because I loved killing Glaciors on my main account because they're such a good boss. Again, Ritual the Majorette reward. Yep. Good job. I remember when I got my first steadfast food drop. 30 mils, amazing. I wanted to be called Glacior, but that was taken. And I wanted Glaceite, and that was also taken. That apparently Glaceite's actually an artist that does RuneScape stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So then I took Iron Glaceite, which was free, so I'll have Iron Glaceite. So then a few months passed, and there was Jagex were asking for people to come playtest some content. So I applied for it, and I got accepted to come down to Jagex, which was early 2017, like April time 2017, where I got to test Menaphos, Shifting Tombs, and Menaphos Slayer, basically. And they just announced they were going to do a double XP weekend. So they asked anyone there, like any of the players there, wanted to be in a video, giving people help and tricks and tips for the double XP weekend. And I volunteered myself to be in the video. And we all had a name badge. Mine said Zowskii very clearly. The guy even went up to take a picture for like the post to actually say who we are. But then actually in the edit of the video, they missed out the S on my name. So instead of saying Zowskii, it said Zowskii. So at that point, my clan took the piss out of me for saying, "Oh, you weren't actually in the video. Someone Zowskii was in the video." I was like, "What? No, it was me." Then I was like, "I best quickly take that username up just in case someone decides to take it." No one probably was going to take it. Before you know, I'd quickly try and take it. So I changed my Ironman from Ingame to Zowskii, as Jagex decided to call me that instead.
So how was the experience visiting Cambridge and Jagex?
It was good fun. It was eye opening. You don't realize how many people actually work there and how little people are actually in like the dev team and stuff like that. People think most of Jagex is all developers, but the actual devs were like very one floor in like the corner, and most of it was like everyone else. So obviously, being a company is not just devs.
Marketing,
It was-
finance, HR,
marketing, finance,
everything
HR,
else.
It was good fun. It was good fun. If anyone has the opportunity to go, I'd recommend going. It's good fun. Obviously, don't do it like very often, but it's good fun. If you ever get the chance, I do recommend going. Unless you're from the States, where it's a bit costly. So if you're in the UK and you have the opportunity to go, definitely go do it. So I've been twice now. So obviously, after I got the invite to go, I got given PMod status, and then a few months ago, on Valentine's Day, actually, they invited all the PMods down to have a visit on Valentine's Day. Because who would have guessed that a load of PMods would be single on Valentine's Day? No, yeah. So we went again, and that was good fun. That was a lot different. That was actually more business oriented. We had to help them out with stuff like what we'd recommend changes to the PMod system and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
can't
a little bit
go
more
into-
serious.
Yeah, and they told us a lot of the archaeology stuff that was coming. Like I knew about the flying in the Citadel, obviously before it actually happened. I kept trying to drop micro hints about it in his chat. But I don't think he caught on. Kept dropping like Red Bull hints and hope you're ready to fly through the archaeology skill and stuff like that. I think it's a bit too subtle, but
Yeah.
it's good fun.
And then you said you've been to 2 Runefests. What your experience has been like there?
The first one was great because I actually met up with a long time online friend. A few long time online friends actually. Is Fat Nooblet, famous YouTuber / streamer Nooblet, and we've been friends like a long time, and actually get to meet people like I've spoken to for years on the game was probably what makes Runefest so good. The actual event itself was pretty mediocre for 2017 anyway. It was okay, but actually just meeting people was probably the best part of it. But I will say, people that the one thing I will remember at Runefest is the smell. It fucking stinks. I'm not ever excited. It fucking stinks at Runefest. It is literally. It wasn't as bad 2018 because the area was a bit bigger, but 2017 in the London one, it was pretty more tightly compact, and it was terrible.
I was gonna say, so I went last year and I didn't notice the smell too bad because the Farnborough one's quite large. Yeah.
Yeah, the Farnborough one wasn't that bad in 2018 when I went, but the 2017 one, oh god, it was awful. It was so bad. It's tainted my memory of 2017 Runefest is the smell. 2018 was a lot better because there was a bigger group of us, and we stayed for a week, and we all had an Airbnb together, so it was a good laugh. There was a lot of drinking going on. even after Runefest and at Runefest, there was a lot of drinking. It was good fun. But as for an RS3 person, it was pretty disappointing. All the content that for 2018, anyways, all the content was very disappointing and is definitely more old school focused.
Yeah,
which is understandable. It's the bigger game of the two, but they were definitely pushing RS3 to the side, and it's kind of sad, really. But they definitely seem to improve a little bit with 2019, from what I saw. Even though they only announced like half a year's of stuff or a quarter of stuff. Just still good. They've pretty much done everything they've promised. There's a few
Yeah.
things they're still working on.
I mean, they obviously said more quests and Elder God Wars at some point in, well, summer was the time given.
That's probably got to be pushed
But
back now. Though,
I would
'cause,
imagine it's got to be. Which
'cause if it's good, I don't mind stuff being pushed back. Like Archaeology, when they said it was getting pushed back, I was like, as long as it's good. I honestly don't care if it's pushed back as long as it's good, and it was good.
yeah,
But it's when
Yeah.
content's pushed back and it's terrible, then that's where it's just not worth the hassle. Same like mobile. We've waited so long for mobile, it's probably not even going to be worth it. Even though the iOS beta is coming out soon,
yeah,
tomorrow. Well, tomorrow for iOS anyway.
yeah.
Which is
At
the
time of recording, anyway.
It's terrible for it. It's the iOS beta. I'm hoping I get it. So I was in the very early iOS beta ages ago. Actually, I bought an Android phone just to play the RS beta at work. I was tired of waiting until I was going to spend some money buying a crappy Android phone just to play RS Mobile at work. What I was doing was, I had AFK div charges on my Ironman, which was great because I could get like 1,000 a shift, which is a lot. Which is a lot.
Yeah.
Which obviously, before that, I'd had to actively train it at home instead of doing fun stuff. I'd have to actually do fucking divination. And when they changed the Divomatic, that made it even worse because you got even less div charges an hour.
Yeah, something tells me Divination's going to be my last 99. It must have been quite a, in some ways, disappointing skill release. I don't know. I don't know at the time how it was received.
Oh God.
It's going quite a way back. Sorry.
At first, it was extremely slow, extremely niche content they actually gave you. It wasn't good, air quote good, until Invention came out, and that's only because it was used for fuel. I was going to call it fuel, power. But honestly, Divination is like the weakest skill in the whole entire game because a lot of the stuff you don't use, like he uses transmute, he uses apart from the porters, I guess, probably porters and the div charge is the only good things of the whole skill. So
and the boons to give you extra XP.
You don't even notice they're using it. The XP is still low. They definitely made it a bit better when they made caches, but oh my god, caches are. I refuse to do caches at first just because of how terrible they are to do with other people, and people still don't know how to use caches. So you go crash and someone else goes crash at the same time. And you're like, "What are you doing?" And then another person goes crash, so you're just ruining it for yourself. You're ruining it for everyone, just trying to be greedy. And then with the Hall of Memories as well, I think that's even faster now. So Div, honestly, if you just want to level it and don't care about charges, then I think it's still pretty fast. But yeah, it's definitely not a fun skill. It was, yeah. It's so uninspiring of a skill, I honestly don't remember training it.
There just doesn't seem like any reward for leveling it.
Yeah. Just how slow it is as well. It's like old school runecrafting level XP rates, which is kind of like early level archaeology. Goddamn.
It did feel like the grind was going to go on for months and months, didn't it? Those first few days, everyone was like, "Oh,
I've been playing this all day and I'm only level 60. Like, what's going on?" Instead of brain, my train of thought's been derailed. It happens quite a lot. Can't remember what I was going to say.
Oh, sure. I'm not really sure how we ended up on that topic either, right? Because I'm pretty sure the last thing I asked was about Runefest, and we've ended up at Divination.
I'm like king of tangents. I just go off and forget where I actually was coming from at the start.
So if I bring it back to Runefest, have you had a favourite interaction with a J-mod, or obviously your player visits as well?
Honestly, I'm actually a very anxious person. I didn't actually go up to any J-mods. I couldn't go up and start a conversation with them. The most I ever talked to them was, "Can you sign this artwork for me?" And that's basically it. So I have like a pile with loads of people's signatures on it, and that's about as far as my interactions go with them. Yeah. Until I went to the last player visit back in February. It was Valentine's Day. How can I forget? Where I met up with Mod Porky afterwards in the pub. I was only able to talk to him because I had a few dozen
A
pints.
bit of Dutch courage.
Dutch courage, yeah. We talked for quite a bit. I even gave him a list of suggestions, which he was very happy with. Which I'm hoping some of them actually come to fruition, but I highly doubt it, especially with the current state of
Everything.
the world at the minute. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on stuff like the Ninja team and the PAG team?
Ninja team is good. Even like the original Ninja team was always about quality of life. It's like the patch notes used to be, here's like 5 things the main J mods have done, then like 30, 40 things the Ninja team have done. So I'm glad they've gone back to actually doing quality of life stuff like the original Ninja team did. They should change the name. They definitely should not be called Ninja Strikes, because strikes just sounds like a negative connotation to it. Like strikes are like when you're not doing work. So they should change that name to something else, which I think they actually are calling it something else. But it's definitely a step in the right direction, considering how empty last year's updates were actually.
Yeah, I mean, like, last week's update was so well received with all the small little changes, the Grace of the Elves changes, and just lots of tiny little things, but it's those nice little touches.
Quality of life goes a long way, because obviously it's quality of life, and everything helps. Especially the fixate perk with the Master Guildmaster stuff. The Master Invention out. Archaeology. Keep calling it Invention. Master Archaeology outfit is so good.
Chronotes on the currency pouch.
Yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't really a big issue, but I'm glad they've actually put it into the currency pouch now. It makes it a lot easier to have to go to the bank to send off your researchers or buy stuff from the like your boost and stuff like that.
And then we're still kind of waiting, I guess, to see from the PAG team what impact it's going to have. But I don't know.
I think other stuff they've done. But I read the patch notes, but I don't. Unless it's super important to me, I tend not to retain it into my head what they've actually done. But I know they've done a lot of good stuff.
The Ninja team have been so many small little things put together. Very nice.
As long as that quality of update continues on.
Yeah, and they don't get disbanded after a couple of months or something. Like,
I don't think they will. They do, unless they've run out of quality of life stuff, then obviously they probably will get pushed back to the original teams.
I mean, I think on one of the last streams I watched, they said they had like over 2,000 submissions to the dojo, so
oh, Christ,
they might be going for quite a while.
That's 2,000 things for the shelf.
It's a big shelf. Better reinforce it.
It's a very big shelf with a lot of good stuff on it.
So if we move into doing videos, doing stuff on Twitch, how did you get into that side of it?
I actually don't remember how I started off making videos. I remember before this, I used to make Call of Duty montages, which is super cringy. You'd be able to find those as well.
MLG 420 headshot, 360 no scope, montage
and in my
one.
Head, these like the best things that have been ever created, which is how you sort of have to have the mindset of being. But then I honestly don't remember how I started making RuneScape videos. I know I started off doing. I sort of set myself on my own challenge of getting all third age items from scratch. You know, I technically started from 10 mil. I wasn't getting them from clues; just earning money to buy every single third age set. Bar Druidics, that was super expensive at the time, and it didn't really gain traction at all, which is discouraging. But if you're having fun doing it, then that's the point of it. You shouldn't do it to expect to get big or make a lot of money. It's all about having fun.
Yeah,
so I had a lot of fun doing it.
I guess you had it as kind of a record as well that you could look back on in the future to see your progress. And
big into seeing all, like, people take screenshots and all that stuff. I have it all in video format, so I can watch stuff back. So I'm kind of almost like narcissistic in that way. Like I like being able to keep track of what drops I've had, which is why I like the collection logs are so good.
Yeah. Do you want like the collection log to be expanded so it covers like even more than it already does?
It should cover everything like the old school one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it should have been a thing from day one.
No reason to not track stuff.
Yeah, there's literally no reason not to track it, yeah. Unless they can't physically do it. But
Well, the amount of data that they need to store, it can't be huge.
no, it can't
Just
be
an extra number next to well, an extra few 100,000 numbers next to everybody's account, but it's only a number.
Yeah, it's good, like having the visual representation of what you've had, which
And then starting doing like streaming and stuff on Twitch.
Streaming again. I don't remember. I remember I streamed myself getting 99 farming on my main account years ago, back when people used to use XSplit before it got hacked and people stopped using it. And I think I did a video of me selling like 2 loot tabs, which weren't particularly of high value, but it's just for my clan. They wanted to see, so obviously I did a lot of PVM in my clan, and they wanted to watch.
And see
So
it
that's
all.
probably one of the reasons why I started making videos, actually, because I'd always get loads of drops and broadcasts, and people are like, oh, we want to see more of this. So I was like, okay, I'll start recording it and try and make something of it. And then I kind of neglected streaming quite a lot. So I streamed a lot. I got my affiliate, and I sort of just stopped streaming. As soon as I got affiliate, I just stopped. So I've had a sub button for like 3 years. I sort of just stopped streaming, which I don't know why. I was going into like a weird mindset where I just don't want to do it, and trying to break that mindset. Same with videos. There's like huge gaps on my YouTube of where there's like no video for months. It's just I'm not in the mindset to make videos. I'm still recording stuff. I just don't have the drive or the will to actually put a video together.
I mean, it's especially streaming is quite a nervy thing. I can like actually just pressing that go live button, and then you are there for anybody to come and suddenly tune into you.
Oh,
it's quite
really tiring. It actually is until you do like a 10-12 hour stream. Like, actually, I'm exhausted doing this. It's super tiring. So how people can do like the super long streams, and for how like Boaty and Mam or something like that doing it constantly, it's so tiring.
Yeah,
having like willpower to do it. Obviously, the money helps a little bit, but
it's a nice motivator, I guess. And also, I guess having a lot of people chatting as well, having a lot of interaction.
Having an active chat is a very big part. So if your chat's dead, so there's no point in me streaming. I'll just carry on playing off stream, and then people get discouraged from that. But Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. So you got to persevere and carry on even through the low moments, I guess.
And like I said, it's as long as you're enjoying it.
Oh yeah, if you're not enjoying it, you can't force yourself to enjoy it, because it's obvious when you're not enjoying it. You can tell your cadence and your body language that you're physically not enjoying it, and people won't just tune in for that unless you're being really weird. And yeah, try not to be weird. Sometimes words slip out, like the very start of this, like coming part.
Yes. Yeah. Let's forget about that. It feels a long time ago.
I've enjoyed coming. It's fine.
I'm glad you came. A personal favourite video or achievement that you've done?
I actually had to go back onto my videos to have a look, because I've made a lot of videos, some good, some bad, and I think my favourite one I've done is I've made 2 cinematic videos. I did one for the Ark, and I've done one for the Wilderness. And it's probably I prefer the Wilderness one. Put more effort into it, but I think the Ark one is a much better video. It's got a better tone to it. It was even featured on SparkMac Live as well, which was big fun. Back when SparkMac Live was relevant. 2-time feature, by the way. Which is very rare for an RS3 video maker to get on it. Yeah, I just like the Ark again, like the archaeology sites, is such a beautiful place. They've outdone themselves for how good the Ark actually looks. And I wanted to showcase by making a cinematic and then editing it to some music. And I think it did a good job. And the views did say, but then it did get some extra push from the SparkMac Live feature. And then obviously the Wilderness one didn't get quite as many views, which sort of discouraged me into making more. So I'll put a lot of effort into this, and the outcome wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be.
So how do you find like filming in game using the camera and stuff?
I think it's fine. The cameras, they've changed it a lot. I remember before you could use like an Xbox controller to control the camera, and you should be able to set camera markers, so it's like you'd like automatically
Like
move
set a
to
track.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, either they got rid of it, or I don't remember how to do it. I don't think it's a feature anymore. The Xbox controller still might be a thing. But...
The Xbox controller still is, because I've used that recently, because I find it so much easier to get like a certain angle for the turning. Yeah. It's much smoother on an Xbox controller than your keyboard and mouse. So
yeah, like you'd like middle mouse button to move it a bit. But I don't like what they did with the like Will Miss It when they broke the camera. I honestly don't know what they did, but that was kind of annoying how they actually managed to break it. I see why they did it, like, but they just went about it all the wrong way. It shouldn't have been in the free cam.
Yeah, that's
like in game and do it, but not in the free cam.
That's what they've done now, though, is they've reverted it back to.
It still does if you get too close, it does like Thanos snap them.
Does it?
But it just you have to be really
okay.
They have to be like dead on right at the lens though. Okay. It's not as bad as it used to. It definitely improved it a little bit. But yeah, I think it's definitely a fun toy to use. I thought they got rid of it at one point. It used to be on the world map. You just right click as freecam. They moved it to the compass for some reason. So I was confused for like a week, like where the hell it was. I randomly right click my compass. Oh, there's the freecam again. Okay. So I didn't want to ask anyone just in case, so I don't seem like an idiot.
So I can't remember, did you take part in the hardcore QBD race last year? Yes. So I know you did like a video for the intro sort of thing with it, but I can't remember if you actually...
Yes, I was actually the first person to get to QBD, and I did a dumb mistake and didn't use a Ecto file, because I didn't know that it actually nulled the damage. I saw other people using it. I was like, I don't know why they're actually using it. I'll just use my Wilderness Sword as my quick teleport. But obviously that doesn't null damage after you've teleported. So I teleported to Edgefield, and then my character just died. I was like, oh, okay. Thanks, Wilderness Sword. So, first to QBD, first to die. I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know, were you the first to die? Because some people didn't even make it to QBD.
I was the first to die to QBD.
Yeah.
I wasn't Brandon, I didn't die to a hill giant. Oh, that's every so often if I see him, I do mention the hill giant thing. I think he got annoyed about it at some point. But come on, who dies to a hill giant? Seriously, apart from Brandon. No, that was good fun though. It just showed like Kibium's just insane. Again, yeah. Insane at PVM, insane at skilling, insanely lucky as well. Actual big lucker Kibium. Much respect to him. He's a really nice bloke. He makes amazing videos as well. He's made like 3 guides, I think, so far, and that actually one of the top PVM guides so far that he's done for the bosses anyway. So if you need to learn how we're Vindicta or things in Greg, watch Kibium's turbo guides. They're so good.
I may give the Greg one a watch because I am not a fan.
I'm not a fan of Greg either, but watching his guide made it super easy to actually do. Because Kibium, even like the editing and the presentation of the video is just incredible. He's a very talented man.
Would you say you've got any tips for anyone that's looking to get into doing videos and Twitch and stuff, other than just keeping on going, even when you haven't got anyone watching?
Just have fun doing it. Do stuff you enjoy fun. Because if you don't have fun doing it, it's very obvious you're not having fun doing it, and you're forcing it. It's not a good way to do stuff. And also, don't go into it thinking you're going to make a lot of money, or thinking you're going to be the next like PewDiePie or something like that, because that's not going to happen unless like the algorithm super favors you for some reason, but it's extremely likely do you ever get any big.
That ship seems to have sailed a bit.
Yeah, but don't let that discourage you though. Just have fun doing it. Make it entertaining.
Editing videos is such a fun thing, seeing sort of all these little bits come together and then the final look of it.
I go through stages of enjoying and hating editing at some point. At the minute I'm enjoying it, but there's times where I was like, I can't be asked to do this. It's so tedious. And then especially doing like the same sort of videos, and especially like the Taskman stuff. When they keep changing the size of stuff, I have to go into Photoshop, redesign all my overlays and interfaces and stuff like that. But that's my problem to deal with, not theirs, I guess.
We managed to. As I say, we skipped over Taskman as well.
Taskman, oh god.
Yeah. So, how did you first get into that? Because obviously that's a mode that originated in old school, right?
Yes, Mr. Tedious himself. I think he actually made the spreadsheet himself, and then some people copied the idea for RS3. And I wasn't originally ever going to do it. Like, I joined the Discord, and they thought I was going to do it straight away. But I think it was like 4 or 5 months after I actually joined the Discord. For, you know what, I'll give it, because obviously I started doing my 10,000 hard clues, and I didn't sort of want my channel to just die while I'm just spending 6 months gathering clues. For, you know what, I'll do this while I'm actually doing my hellhounds. So I thought I'll buy a month's membership, see how I'm enjoying it, and it sort of just stuck from there. Obviously, it took a break when Archaeology came out, but it is good fun if you're bored and have a spare bond or two, or have some IRL money. Just drop a month's membership, give it a go. It is good fun.
So for anyone that doesn't know what it is, give a TLDR, I guess, of Taskman.
Let me steal my description that they use for it. Taskman Mode is a new restrictive game mode of gameplay working towards completing the majority of content the game has to offer, one task at a time, while we all have the same destiny, the same path, whether we are unique and uncontrollable. Basically, some spreadsheet tells you how to play the game. It tells you what to do. Which, to be fair, if you struggle like me, if you struggle to find things to do, this spreadsheet basically tells you what to do. So you have to do this content, and you have to go do it, and you can't do anything else until that thing's completed. And it takes you over every single aspect of the game. It did stuff, like I had a stream the other day where it's telling me, like, I didn't know there's an achievement for releasing a fish back into the ocean. I didn't know that was a thing. I experienced something new from the sheet. And obviously when people play Mainscape, you miss out on a lot of content. Even with Ironman mode, you miss out a lot of content, to be fair. So this spreadsheet basically forces you to do everything. I think there is actually a thing for full, like, clue scroll logs, like the master, hard, elite. I think there's even like the hero items on there you have to achieve. So,
but it goes up in difficulty, right? So you wouldn't suddenly get your first task to complete all the clue logs, like.
Oh no! It's definitely, you start with, like, they added a new tier. Before it was just easy, hard, elite, master, things like God, something like that. They added like a beginner tier where they shuffled some of the easier tasks from the easy tier into beginner. But it is good fun. There's a lot of tasks. Let me just quickly load up the task sheet. I don't know if she shows you how many there are, but there's hundreds of tasks to do. I'm only 1.1% complete of the whole sheet, and obviously I've not played it for that long in terms of actual, like, gameplay hours.
Yeah,
but there's so much to do, and it is good fun. Unless you get the same task back to back to back, which I did, which was kind of annoying. It wasn't a fun one either. I had to do Tusker's Wrath minigame over and over again. 3 tasks in a row. Thanks sheet.
To be fair, one of my previous interviews, Kafar, has had to be doing that every week because he's a Desert Locked Ironman.
I do like his series. It's very unique. I watched that interview as well. That was good.
Yeah. So,
I don't envy him. I hate every minute of it. It's such a bad minigame. Especially the lightning one, I think, is the worst one.
The hunter and construction one.
Yeah, it's so bad. Even when it, like, the world event, it was terrible. It was like a terrible world event. It was terrible. There's a reason why they had to rig that world event for the players to win, because no one was playing it because it was terrible. At least they got the Tusker's Wrath, which is good, and like the devotion and sacrifice.
Yeah,
that was like the only good things about it. The actual experience of playing the minigame. Jesus Christ, I hate it.
So I'm pretty much at the end. One last question, I guess. What one change to RuneScape would you make?
One change. I not controversial. I'd rather the MTX. Don't get me wrong, I really do not care about MTX at that point. If they change it to being just cosmetics or having just the yak track, then that'll be fine. Obviously, because I'm an Ironman, I really don't care anyway. That's fine. Just one or the other, or just make it just cosmetics. So it's like push Solomon's Store even more, or even just change XP lamps into XP stars, so you have to actually physically train the skill. It's not just giving you XP; you have to actually go out and train the skill, which I think a lot of people would prefer as well. If you actually physically train the skill,
and remove the coin drop.
That's
Yeah.
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 It's really rare, but you can get rid of the money, I guess. I've only won it once from the Shadow Gems. It's 25 mil. Fucking thanks, Jagex.
Free bond, I guess.
And the amount of double XP weekends needs to either go down to 1 a year, or I honestly prefer none, or none a year. I think that's too extreme. At least just 1 a year. Having 3 a year is just devalues everything people have worked towards. And I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but having 3 a year is just so demotivating. Stuff like that. It's like, what's the point of all this effort I put in when someone can just get it done
in half the time?
Yeah. Same with like when they change like the comp cape and stuff like that. It's like, why? You just devaluing everyone else's achievement because they couldn't put the effort in to do it themselves.
I mean, it is literally in the name for comp cape. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be everything almost. It's literally completionist.
Yeah, I suppose it technically wasn't completionist as a sense, but it's definitely not as completionist as it was.
Yeah. All right, well, lovely. I think we've covered everything I had. That was a chunky one, 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Oh God!
And before we wrap up, have you got any shout-outs you'd like to make to anybody?
I'd like to shout out Clue Chasers. So if you're into clues, join Clue Chasers, either Discord or Clue Chasers Friends Chat. We are not toxic in any way. And Taskman as well, the Taskman Discord as well. I'm sure you probably put these links in the description, I guess.
Yeah, of course. Anything
Clue Chaser and Taskman. And that's it, really. Just if you want to do some clues, do some Clue Chasers. Really good fun, good community. Just don't be an idiot, and you won't get roasted, I guess. Same with Taskman, I guess. I can't really say much about Taskman. I'm actually not that much into the community. So obviously I haven't really played it a lot. But yeah, Taskman and Clue Chasers, basically.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I hope you've had fun. I certainly have.
I have. I know it's been cringy and lots of tangents. And
tangents are good though.
Nonsensical.
See, the thing is with this game, there's so much experience everyone's had over the years that everyone can chat for hours and hours about it. So people love hearing the little stories and stuff, and I do too. Like,
chat for hours and say nothing. It's great.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. Everyone that's been watching, hope you've enjoyed, and there'll be another one same time next week.